Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. Today I'm going to field a question I have received hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times from many of you who want to know, what do I think of Lethwei? If you're not familiar with that, it is a ring sport similar to Muay Thai, but no gloves. They do wrap the hands, but they do not wear gloves. The fighters can throw punches, kicks, elbows, knees, and headbutts. They can strike with any part of the body. They can clinch. What they cannot do is fight on the ground. Okay, and that's all well and good, and that's fine. I've watched a number of Lethwei matches, and it's not my favorite combat sport. And this may sound like a bit of hypocrisy, because I'm a big proponent of getting rid of the gloves in MMA, except that maybe we should get rid of the wraps instead of the gloves. Because if we did that, what do the wraps do? We've got a whole bunch of bones here, like 27 bones. It's like a bag of marbles that we're throwing at people. And with nothing on there, we have to control our power a lot, lest we risk breaking our hands on hard things like the skull or the elbow or something like that. But when the hand is wrapped up with tape and gauze and packed tightly in there, take a bag of marbles, do that same thing, wrap it up nice and tight. Now you have a rock. And then you put that nice padding over it with a glove, and now you can punch really hard without the consequence of breaking your hand. Okay, but it makes fights a whole lot more exciting. It really does, makes fights more entertaining. So it may sound hypocritical, but I find Lethwei kind of boring to watch, to be honest, because of that element of fighters being careful not to break their hands. And yeah, I blame the culture I grew up in, where we are so used to seeing fighters fight with gloves on so they can punch recklessly in high volumes and do all this crazy stuff that you would not be able to do in a Lethwei fight. I've seen some guys who were very good Muay Thai fighters go over to Lethwei fights, and they didn't do very well because they were trying to use punches the same way they would with the gloves on, only without them, and that didn't work out very well. So the strategies are importantly different than Muay Thai. Those headbutts, I can't say I'm a big fan of headbutts. I've got some scars on my face above the eyes from headbutts, accidental headbutts in the gym, of course. What's a headbutt or two between two friends, right? But what headbutts do is they tend to make fights a lot shorter. They cause bleeding, they cause scars. You can still fight with blood unless it's blinding you, and then it's going to be quite difficult, and it's going to sting you, all that salt getting in your eyes. So what generally happens is the fight gets short, the audience gets robbed of the entertainment value of the fight because of those nasty headbutts causing those cuts, and everybody's kind of disappointed at the end. I haven't seen any really cool looking headbutt finishes. Do you remember the early UFC when headbutts were still legal? And this was after Royce stopped competing in the UFC, and it was still no rules. I remember there was this Jeet Kune Do practitioner, and I don't remember his name. Who was it? Somebody in the comments let me know. But early UFC days, no rules, no time limits, no weight classes, none of that. And there was this Jeet Kune Do practitioner. He was going to fight some traditional martial artist, some striking guy. And the commentators were saying something like, this guy represents Bruce Lee's style. We're going to see some crazy Bruce Lee moves in here. And the Jeet Kune Do guy shoots in, gets a takedown, climbs on top, pins his opponent down with superior wrestling, and then headbutts him to death. And the fight's very short. It's nasty, it's brutish, it's short, and it's very honest about what a fight can be when there's a discrepancy in grappling skill and when headbutts are allowed. And the commentators were left kind of silent, like, well, we didn't see that in Bruce Lee movies. Oh, well, I guess it's more about the philosophy. Do what works and don't do what doesn't, right? So, academically, Lethwei is really interesting. I do watch it, even though it kind of bores me, to be honest. I'm very vocal about this. It is not my favorite combat sport to watch, but I do watch it from an academic perspective because I make it a point to watch all kinds of fights and learn from them. Okay? Now, what I don't like about Lethwei, and this is a big thing, and this is why I would advocate that Lethwei not be a mainstream combat sport unless this rule is changed. And that is the double knockout rule. Some people might think, well, that's the best thing, it's hardcore, yeah. Okay, if you are not familiar with the rules of Lethwei, you have to be knocked out twice in order to lose. In order to win, you have to knock the other guy out twice. I've seen a few fights that went down like this, not Lethwei matches. It was actually an MMA fight. The first MMA fight I saw in China. It was this very low-level affair being held at a club in Shanghai. And they had this giant foreigner who was training in Thailand. Very good Muay Thai fighter, fighting this tiny Chinese guy like half his size. And the giant foreign Thai boxer head kicks the little guy, knocks him out. He's out cold. The little Chinese guy is out cold. The referee revives him, stands him back up, and goes, "Fight!" And then he promptly gets knocked out again. I'm watching this like, what the heck is he thinking? No, man. You're gonna screw this guy up for life. That's gonna cause... One knockout is bad enough. One knockout means brain damage. Double concussions, oh, man. Oh, you're gonna get people killed. You're gonna get people killed doing that. So get rid of that rule and, sure, let them fight. But 2 knockouts, man. It's not a game of Street Fighter 2. It's not a game of Mortal Kombat. Why is it in those old fighting games there was always a double knockout rule? Do you remember Street Fighter 2? You had to knock out your opponent twice. That's how Lethwei is. And in a video game, that seems just and fair. In real life, that's stupid. That's just plain dumb. So let's not play that game, my friends. Anyway, that's what I think about Lethwei. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.